faster you can get to a place where you understand your forecast, the more agile you are as a business. Being a business where you can close your books and run your forecast by day 5, you now have 25 days to do analysis, scenario planning.
Today, we're diving into the transformative power of AI in finance, focusing on how a leading platform is revolutionizing financial planning and analysis, making sense of vast amounts of data to drive confident, strategic decisions.
Technology has always had the opportunity to change the way people work. With AI, you see a very similar trend that it's moving capabilities, protected environments of technology or outside of the technical experts in the hands of people who are non-experts. You don't have to think big. Try something really small. Build this muscle about how to collaborate with AI. Wake up every day and say, I'm going to try these 3 things.
Hi everyone, welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast, where we explore the strategic insights and innovative solutions empowering Canadian businesses to thrive in a data-driven world. Now today we're diving into the transformative power of AI in finance, focusing on how a leading platform is revolutionizing financial planning and analysis, which is FP&A, for businesses of pretty much all sizes. Now, in a dynamic and often chaotic economic landscape, making sense of vast amounts of data to drive confident, strategic decisions is more critical than ever. Our guest today brings 2 decades of experience in building and scaling some of the world's most successful fintech platforms, with a track record of leading major digital transformations. Joining us today is Hugh Cumming, the Chief Technology Officer at Vena Solutions. Hugh is a proven product and technology leader with a career spanning Finestra, Security Technologies, ADP Canada, and most recently Manulife Canada, where he led the company's digital transformation efforts. At Vena, Hugh is responsible for powering scale and industry-leading growth for the only Agentic AI-powered platform built to harness the power of Microsoft technology ecosystem. Today, we'll discuss why FP&A tech is no longer a luxury for SMEs, strategies for growing amid chaos, how to safely incorporate AI into finance operations, Vena's rapid growth and innovation, and Hugh's vision for the future of fintech. So without a further ado, let's welcome our guest, Hugh. Hugh, we're very pleased to have you on the show today. How are you?
Thank you so much for allowing us to be here. I'm really excited to be here and have this conversation.
Very pleased to have you with us. Now, Hugh, I mentioned a lot in my intro, including Vena's FP&A platform, which is becoming a necessity for businesses. So let's really start with why this is no longer a luxury for SMBs, but now it's more of a necessity. Tell us, how does FP&A integrate into modern finance operations, and how does Vena make these processes more flexible, more efficient, and intelligent for SMEs without the cost of traditional solutions?
So that's a great question. I mean, the way we think about it is finance works on something called BD, business days. So the faster you can get to a place where you understand your forecast, the more agile you are as a business. So if you're a business that runs on a cycle that says by day 15, you have your numbers closed, by day 20, you have your forecast, there's only 10 days left in the month. But if you can imagine being a business where you can close your books and run your forecast by day 5, you now have 25 days to do analysis, scenario planning. And for us as a business, that really is the thesis that we've had, is if we can help our customers complete the work of finance, budgeting, forecasting, closing, so that they can spend more time on analysis, strategy, scenario planning, they can run a more successful business. And I think if you look at today's economic environment and how things are rapidly changing, the ability to adjust plans, incorporate scenario planning, more strategic planning is super critical for success.
That's a vital insight, Hugh. And it's clear that FP&A tech is empowering SMEs with a level of strategic planning previously which is reserved for larger corporations. Now let's explore your expertise in navigating dynamic and uncertain economic environments. Because your career is marked by a track record of successfully growing companies amid chaos and dynamic situations. How can Canadian businesses really navigate economic uncertainty and turn it into growth? And what strategies or tools should they use to build resilience for future disruptions?
Yeah, it's a good question. And we on board every year, we have a group of co-ops that join the company. And every time they joined, even in the 4 years I've been with Vena, it's been different.
Right.
So part of it was through the pandemic, part of it, is now. But, the perspective that I always provide is if you look back, if you started your career 10 years ago, you would have started your career after the financial crisis, and you would have had this long run of growth. So if you started a company in that period of time, you would have encountered enormously supportive times for growth. And now we're in uncertain times. But if you just looked to people who started their careers a decade sooner, they would have encountered quite a lot of challenges. The 9/11, conflicts in the Middle East, and then you had the financial crisis. And that perspective says that, being able to adopt and adjust in those times is super critical. So the first decade or so of my career was in those period of times. And then I came into an area of growth. So I think a lot of it's just perspective.
Mm-hmm.
How do you ensure that in a period of growth that you're ready for changing economic times? I think always be ready and prepared. And part of getting back to the way we started the conversation around having a very well-run and nimble finance organization, planning organization, is being ready and prepared. Because when things change, they change very quickly. So I think that would be number one for small businesses in navigating this uncertainty is, just be ready and prepared. Have a number of different ideas, different off ramps and on ramps. Don't make any decision that's too big that you can't unwind it and go in a different direction because you don't know. I mean, tariffs are a great example right now.
Right.
No one imagined a year and a half ago that we'd be in the middle of a trade war with our largest trading partner. And the rest of the world is also saying the same things. And the organizations that will thrive are the ones that can adopt and adjust.
Absolutely. No, though that's incredibly valuable advice, you. And it's clear that adaptability and strategic foresight, they're both paramount for businesses to thrive in a challenging landscape. Now, let's discuss a key driver of modern business efficiency, which is AI, particularly in finance. You believe in making finance the nexus of an organization, and AI is playing a central role in this transformation. Please tell us, how can SMEs safely embrace AI, especially in finance, to drive operational planning and strategy while ensuring accuracy and compliance in an age of massive data growth?
Yeah, I think I'll start from the end of the way you phrase the question, which is around data. Of course, number one is getting your arms around data. And data is this big topic, but certainly for businesses of all sizes, data is the foundation of planning. And whether that's data that you house from your customers or data that you're getting from the outside, it's important to have a strategy around how you're going to bring all that together safely.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the things that matters most around AI is ensuring that you understand the data landscape that you want to train these models on, because they're only as useful as the inputs. They're only as good as what you can provide them. So I think first and foremost is really just thinking about what's the data that drives my business today? What's the data and where does that come from? And then what do I need to make sure I protect and that my customers expect from me? So I think that's foundationally, that's really what we try to do. Step one within Vena on behalf of our customers. Number two is understand what problem you're trying to solve. And because I think the challenge with new technologies as they show up is sometimes the technology is ahead of people understanding what problem to be solved is. And I think it's important to always anchor back to what's unique about my business. What problem do I solve better than others? And answer that question. And then how can I make it better, right? Like what would I do to make it better? And I think AI opens up enormous possibilities to create this creative canvas that you can accelerate the differentiation in your business, but you really just have to anchor it back to what problem can I uniquely solve. I always think about when the internet first boom and bust happened, people thought the problem to be solved was acquiring goods online. How, can I go to a website? Can I buy something? But the actual problem to be solved and why Amazon was so successful was getting goods to people. And the same thing is happening right now with AI, right? AI can do all these amazing things. It can generate all this content. It can write all your copy for you, and it's good at it, but not. It still needs to be reviewed all the time. But that's not really necessarily the problem to be solved for your business.
Correct.
So I think it's really just understanding what is the problem that I need to solve for my customers and that I can do better than anyone else, which is why I'm here in business. And then how can I apply this new technology to help me solve that problem better while understanding my responsibility? Because I think that's important. Your customers expect you to handle the information they provided you with care. And I think nothing changes with that around AI. And I would always encourage people to not use the free tools. Experiment with the free tools, try some things out, but trust a few providers and establish commercial relationships with them gives you the protection that you're not leaking information, that you can't unwind that once it's out there. And I think there's stories out there of people who have not taken those precautions and are uncovering those things. So really just be mindful of what you're doing, but also more importantly, how you create change for your customers and how this can help you.
That's a crucial point, Hugh, and it's clear that AI can definitely help businesses cut through the data chaos to focus on what matters most. Listeners, if you are looking to make smarter financial decisions and please navigate economic uncertainty and leverage the power of AI, please learn from Hugh Cumming, the CDO of Vena Solutions, about our FP&A tech, growing amid chaos, and how to make finance a nexus of your organization with AI. We'll be right back after a short break, so please don't go nowhere. When we return, we'll dive into Vena's incredible growth and the power of its AI-driven financial solutions.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's continue the conversation with you and explore how Vena's AI-powered FP&A platform is driving growth and transforming financial planning for businesses. Now let's look at Vena's impressive growth and how it's performing, how its platform empowers planning. Because Vena has experienced industry-leading growth, recently celebrating its 2,000th customer, which is quite an accomplishment. Please tell us what's driven Vena's rapid growth and how does your AI-powered FP&A platform leverage Microsoft's ecosystem to enhance flexibility, efficiency, and intelligence for finance teams?
No, it's a great. When Vena started, I wasn't there in the early days. It started with an idea that finance teams do their planning in Excel. And if we could overcome some of the challenges with Excel, which is around creating data islands, how can we connect spreadsheets together in a more elegant way? We could really solve some real problems and create automation for finance teams. So that was sort of the original concept of Vena, and it's just grown over time, where finance teams who use the Microsoft tool sets to run their business today, whether that's today Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Azure, it all started with this idea that we wanted to be the best planning solution within the Microsoft ecosystem. So we leverage, obviously, Excel. We provide a native solution that plugs right into your Excel environment, allows you to take data that you would normally have in a single spreadsheet and move it to the cloud so that it can be shared across multiple spreadsheets. And that's one of our key enablers to efficiency for our customers. but we've expanded to make it super easy for you to create a board presentation in PowerPoint by taking data directly out of Vena, pushing it into your PowerPoint. We allow you to collaborate now on data within Microsoft Teams. So if you're hosting a Teams call with your colleagues, if you're a virtual organization, you have colleagues across the country, around the world, you can now collaborate on a Vena spreadsheet within Teams and move data back and forth. Adding Copilot, which was our first AI release that we came out last year with, was the ability to ask questions. Just like you would ask a question to your FP&A specialist or your finance leader if you're a small company. Now Copilot can actually answer some of those questions. What is my sales target? How much budget do I have left in my marketing reserve? What would happen? What happens if I added 3 more sales reps? How would I adjust my quota? So being able to have a conversation with your data was the first thing we added from a AI perspective. We've since added a number of other capabilities in our Agentic roadmap. So we've added and just launched this week, we're launching 4 new agents for customers. So we now have a total of 6 agents. One is the original one, which is our, the true Copilot ask a question, but we've added a reporting agent, which is, build me a set of reports around these concepts. We've added the ability to do integrations. We've added the ability now to look at things like creating scenario planning, and we're looking in the future at being able to run an entire OPEX session, produce the OPEX reporting package for me this month. So we see AI as something that will enable our customers to get so much more done in a short period of time, and we think that's one of the reasons our growth has been accelerating. As you noted, we just passed 2,000 customers. Customers continue to look to us for guidance on how to best bring AI into their organizations. And part of the reason they're placing that trust in us is we've really put a lot of thought into how to keep it safe, keep it protected, and ensure that we're not losing any power of AI while still protecting the information. And then we're continuing to innovate and add agentic capabilities around the things that bog them down the most. Our goal is to get our customers to have real-time finance organizations, and those organizations, as we said at the start, in this period of economic uncertainty, are the ones that will perform the best, because they'll have the finance organizations that can completely create a new plan in days, in hours, and not in weeks.
That's an impressive blend of brand strategy and technological innovation, Hugh, and it's quite clear that Vena is meeting a significant market demand with its unique platform. Finally, let's discuss your leadership and the vision for the future of fintech, because you have an impressive background from leading a cloud-based API platform at Finistra to a digital transformation at ManyLife Canada. What is your vision for Vena's future innovation in fintech, especially with Agentic AI and Microsoft integration, and how do you see the future of FP&A evolving for businesses?
The way I think about it is technology has always had the opportunity to change the way people work, and it's gone through different cycles of acceleration. And I think there's 2 things that I think are true. One is that this desire to push more capabilities to end users so that they can do more with technology in their hands. Non-technical people, non-IT people, has been an ongoing theme that I've observed throughout my career. Whether that's being able to, in banking, allow customers to do more on their mobile devices as opposed to having to take a trip into the bank. Whether it's in service environments, having customers do more online, be able to solve problems for themselves. That motion, I think, has been a consistent motion with technology, not just automating processes within businesses, but actually including the customer in those processes as part of generating efficiency. With AI, you see a very similar trend, that it's moving capabilities outside of the protected environments of technology or outside of the technical experts
Mhm.
or even outside of the finance experts to moving into the budget stakeholders. Now they can run scenario plans with AI in their hands. So one of the ways we see this evolving with agentic AI in the hands of customers that are leveraging our Vena platform in the way we're approaching it is pushing all the capabilities of the FP&A professional that happens within the confines of the finance organization and pushing them to the budget stakeholders. So
Right.
everything that they would ask someone else to do, they should now be able to do on their own.
Mhm.
And that's really what we see as the vision for the Vena platform for agentic AI in FP&A is that these capabilities will continue to move beyond the functional expertise to be able to deliver expertise into the hands of people who are non-experts in finance. Of course, running a budget scenario planning for someone who does not have a financial background is very difficult.
Right.
But with Vena Agentic AI, and you can, as a budget owner, you should be able to create scenario plans that are, how many stores should I open next year? What would it look like if I opened 3 new stores? What if the weather was good? What if the weather was bad? What if I had more reps in North Dakota? Or what if I had more reps in Florida?
Mhm.
And, being able to run those scenarios in real time without having to burden your FP&A team represents a real advancement. And the FP&A team can focus on making sure the data is all correct, making sure the answers coming back are correct, making sure they represent the best value for the individual budget stakeholders. So I think this world of extending capabilities out to the people who use it most is one of the big enablers. And whether that's in vibe coding, which allows people to write software to solve problems when they don't have software skills, or whether it's using the Vena platform to be able to do budget and forecast scenarios when they don't have finance skills, it's that same motion
Mhm.
that AI is unlocking.
That's an ambitious and an inspiring vision, you, and for both Vena's future and the broader fintech landscape. But this has been an overall very engaging and very insightful conversation. We really appreciate that. Really, you're clearly positioning Vena at the forefront of shaping the future of FP&A and the fintech innovation. And we wish you and Vena both continued success. As we wrap up now, you, what is that one key message that you'd like to share with our Canadian SME listeners about leveraging tech to empower their businesses?
Yeah, I always say to people, just try something.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't have to think big. You don't have to say, here's the biggest, most difficult problem I have. Let's see if AI can solve it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Try something really small, right? Here's a note that I'm trying to send someone. I just want to see what Copilot thinks about it.
Right.
And you have to start using it every day and build this muscle about how to collaborate with AI. It's different than working directly with a human. It's not like that. It's like you have to build your own frame of reference of how it can help you. So just wake up every day and say, I'm going to try these 3 things. And then over time that muscle builds. And then then from that will come how it's going to help you solve the biggest problems that you see in front of you.
Absolutely. And that's a powerful and very actionable message, you. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your insights with us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And that was an insightful conversation with Hugh Cumming, the Chief Technology Officer at Vena Solutions, on why FP&A tech is no longer a luxury, strategies for growing amid chaos, making finance the nexus of your organization with AI, and Vena's growth and innovation, and the future of fintech. Again, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. We really appreciate your continued support. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast for expert insights and resources that can help your business thrive. You can also visit our website, CanadianSME.ca, for valuable information and tools. And before we leave, a special shout out to our partners, RBC, UPS, A1 Global College, ADP, and Google for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses in Canada. Until next time, please keep innovating and striving for success. We'll see you in the next episode.